Hey everybody, welcome back to another video here at Crypto Simple. My name is Anthony, and let's just discuss about the cryptocurrency markets here today. It's been a long time that I made a video. I just wanted to touch base and let you guys know that I'm still here. Currently in self quarantine right now, so all I'm going to do is be making videos. But I just wanted to give you my opinion about the cryptocurrency markets, about this pandemic, and why I think this is a good thing for cryptocurrencies. Obviously, right now we just we were on a good time high, right? From February was a really good month for us, where we were just it was a great accumulation phase, and obviously it's like we were gearing up for the Bitcoin happening. Then obviously there's that pandemic that occurred, and then we just drastically just dropped right all the way down. And cryptocurrencies had its all-time low of 3,800. And then there's a lot of people saying that what, Bitcoin failed in terms of being its a store, like its store of value, but you can't really quantify that just yet. Fact of the matter is if the S&P 500 is dropping drastically, just like this here, let me just change that there, guys. This is not a healthy market, man. Come on, look at this. This is huge drop, right? Like we've gone down almost 30% here, and it's obviously because of that global pandemic. And it's not a bad thing. Obviously, there's lives that are being lost, and pray for them. But in terms of this, there's always opportunity. The opportunity that I'm talking about is this is a defining moment for cryptocurrencies, guys. That's what you need to know. Because what we're starting to realize is there are major flaws in the global financial system. There's no doubt about it, right? The Fed keeps printing money, which is what I wanted to talk about in terms of this right here. I was reading it, which is quantitative easing. Now, for those who don't understand what quantitative easing is, they're essentially propping up the market. They're printing so much cash, which is why you hear all these presidents and all these nations saying, "Oh, how about we print 800 billion, right? 800 billion stored into the economy and flowed into the economy." And the reason why is because we want to change the sentiment of the market. Why do you think there's the big green candles here? But the reality is the sentiment has changed drastically. A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people are. It's just contraction, right? We're going into a recession, and that is reason was one reason why Bitcoin also fell too, because there's a lot of investors who they were using this. The institutional investors were in, obviously not to the biggest grand stage where there's multi-billion dollars in portfolios and pension funds and etc. investing in cryptocurrencies, but you can see a specific percentage. And the thing is, you need to realize one thing: the legacy economy is dying, right? We're starting to realize that this is not a good way of having a monetary policy. The Fed just keeps printing money, right? And with printing money, it's quantitative easing, inflation goes up. And the thing is, they can print money consistently. We know this. This is why we are so bullish on cryptocurrencies. And the first reason is there's only a limited amount of supply for these things, right? And that's what you need to realize. Obviously, we're in a big green day today, but I think that you have to show some form of just caution, because of this can go down even more, guys. Let's just, like, obviously not financial advice, but it can go down more, and you need to realize that it's not going to go up skyrocketing up to 100K. This is a volatile market. A lot of people are panicking. If you can start to see the financial market, the S&P 500 panicking, you better believe that Bitcoin is going to be more volatile than that as well. We've seen that huge drastic drop. But I wanted to show you that this type of epidemic and pandemic, even though lives are being lost, we pray for them, like I was mentioning. This is the best opportunity and the greatest opportunity for Bitcoin to show its true class. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you read here, Bitcoin, Ether, and other crypto miners need no bailout. We don't need no bailout, guys, or quantitative easing. There's just a handful of servers to run, verify, and complete transactions. Bitcoin, Ether, and other cryptos has taken the weakest link us out. This only makes us stronger. The weak hands are left, right? The thing about this is, for cryptocurrencies, is that it's showing one important aspect, which is a decentralization of a specific, it's not an entity, it's a whole ecosystem. The one thing that I've realized is, look at this, even where centralized power also gives governments, financial institutions ability to financially censor citizens by taking actions such as freezing accounts, denying access to payment systems, removing funds from accounts, denying the retrievals during bank runs. I'm not going to say we're going to go through a bank run and a huge Great Depression is going to occur. Obviously, there's those doom and gloom guys out there, but there has to be some form of optimism in life, and I feel like that's the case for me. Could it happen? Unfortunately, of course, but the fact of the matter is the reason why I was mentioning about inflation is look at, like, I made a video about this, but look at Venezuela, the amount of printing that occurs, guys, and this is what's happening within the United States as well. Obviously, to not this extent, but hey, man, when you continue to print money, the inflation rate is going to increase. The value of the dollar is going to go down, and then eventually it's just going to be a regular currency. And what happens there? Where is going to be the actual? People think, oh, you know what? It's going to be gold. That's going to be the next global currency that is recognized around the world. But in my opinion, obviously this is just my speculation. Why not Bitcoin, right? Why not Bitcoin? Hold on, guys. I don't have an account here, so I have to always refresh it. Why not Bitcoin, right? Obviously, there's so many flaws, but here's what I wanted. Raul Paul. If you looked at his interviews, he's a really, really global macro investor, and I agree with him 100%. All trust is lost in the legacy economy. Of course it has, guys. Come on. The markets are crashing. There's quantitative easing to the point where they're just trying to prop up the market to show that, hey, you know what, we're in signs of recovery. But as you know, so many investors don't have faith in this economy anymore, right? Which is why you see those massive triggers when it's the S&P 500. If you didn't know, there's a trigger in terms of the market where it freezes the market for 15 minutes if you pass, or if the sell-off is more than 7% and 15%, then etc. And it continuously happens. We've probably seen this already 8 times during this pandemic. And the reason why is because people are panicking, right? In times of this, you need to be greedy, but obviously you need to have a specific or a good understanding of what a good plan. A good plan is what I wanted to say. I talked to a lot of my friends, and I talked to them about, what are you going to be investing right now? What are you going to be investing? A lot of them are touching the S&P 500, which is not a bad thing because all stocks are on sale right now. And if you're a long-term investor, go for it because it's going to be very, very. You're definitely going to bank on it, right? But in my opinion, I think there's a better opportunity for my dollar, and that is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, Ethereum. I'm bullish on Cardano. I'm bullish on the top 15 coins, right? Like I don't want to go deep dive in the dungeons of crypto right now, but I wanted to read this here. I cannot express how bullish I am on Bitcoin. We are at a risk of losing the entire system right now. There's no doubt. I know they'll find a way to save it, but all trust is lost, guys. All trust is lost. Gold, guys, girls, you'll be fine too. It's just BTC has bigger upside by far, but riskier than gold, and that's the truth, right? We've seen this massive drop off, but Bitcoin future Big Macs expressed a sentiment this week, a similar sentiment, where arguing that central banks have run out of road. They have no other way to fix this economy, because when you print so much money, it's like you're putting a band-aid on a wound that continues to spill out blood, so to speak. And that was very, very, very gruesome, but it's the truth. And I feel like we're ready, right? I think Bitcoin is ready to become, I'm not going to say a store of value because the thing about Bitcoin is its decentralized nature. It has a low sensitivity to centralization, of course. There is no way of hyperinflation, or a little, obviously there's inflation, but there can't be hyperinflation periods nor deflation periods with cryptocurrencies. Obviously the specific ones. I'm not going to be talking about the ones that have like freaking 30 billion in tokens, which is Cardano, but they have a different way of kind of implementing that. There's a treasury system with it. It's not going to just like there's a specific entity who has control of the cryptocurrencies, right? Now, I'm going to just move on to my last point, which is why I think this is Bitcoin's time, and this global epidemic is really, really good for Bitcoin. It just goes to show that Bitcoin has a lot of room to run. It gives investors a sense of validity, because we've learned with this market is you can't trust it, it's manipulated, right? Not only that it's manipulated, it can be propped up by quantitative easing, where it doesn't necessarily, it can show overvaluations of these projects and companies, where like governments can just print their money, put it into the stock market, put it in these type of these companies to show, hey, you know what, we're doing very well, right? But they just printed money, and it's just an overarching cycle that is not going to last. It can't. Fiat currencies eventually die. Look at it. If you read any economist, fiat currencies die off, and it's the truth. Look at this. Look at and not only that, the Fed has been continuously lowering interest rates, and the reason why they want to lower interest rates, for those who don't know, is because they want to stimulate the economy. They want you and I to actually go and borrow money right now, because that's the only way this economy is going to return back to normal, or kind of ease back into a more healthy cycle, is when all individuals are starting to borrow and spend money. Go to these type of stores, go to these type of, obviously there's an epidemic right now, but eventually when that subsides, that's when you're going to see, but you're going to see a little bit more calm in the storm. But currently right now, it's still a volatile marketplace, whether it be the S&P 500 or it be Bitcoin. For the question that you need to know is, why are you here? What is the reason why you're investing in this? Are you investing for an asset class that is so brand new, an asset class that can provide decentralization, an asset class that, yes, it can be manipulated, but it cannot be controlled or tamed by entities? And not only that, it can't be printed, it can't be there. A quantitative easing for Bitcoin would be amazing if you think about it. If you still put so much money into this cryptocurrency, obviously, we're going to go to the moon. But not only that, it's just, you're starting to see the lack, the loss, the trust is, as Raoul Paul said, right? I believe his name is Raoul Paul, but I'm going to just say it that way. The trust is lost, guys, right? In the legacy economy. And people, once this all rolls back out and calms down, they're going to realize that Bitcoin has a stake in this economy. There is going to be an industry. This is where Bitcoin will show its decentralization. It'll show all its aspects, guys. You're going to see it in the news, where it's going to show its benefits, and people are going to gravitate towards it because there's no entity that controls it, guys. And that's the most important thing that you need to know. Obviously, I'm going on a rant, but I just wanted to tell you my ideas. I'm going to make another video very shortly tomorrow. But for those who enjoyed, take care. Peace.